There we go. Okay, so now we're recording. All right, so I'll do the same thing as always. I will share my screen and we'll look at what you did last week, what you have to do this week. If you have any questions, as always, over there, okay, in the chat window, okay, please type them in, or you can ask them at the end. All right, now you should be able to see my window now. Okay, see my screen rather. So this is this week's activities. All right. So as always, start with the instructions. There is an assignment, and then this week there are 2 forums for you to participate in. One is based on the cultural flexibility report, okay, or meter that you made a report on last week, and the other one is based on the giving advice to a person who has moved to your neighborhood, which you also did last week. So let's start with the instructions. So this week, our WebEx session, okay, as always, we'll look at the English Central results for from Wednesday last week to Wednesday this week. We'll have a look at your reports. That's what you need to do this week, so I'll explain that. Also, giving advice, we'll have a look at what you need to do for that. We'll have a look at the assignment, the materials from the textbook, and then what you have to do before next week. All right. Also, as I said, this week, don't know why that's 7, that should be 6. There's a special announcement, all right, and that's a survey, and I'll explain that at the end of the lesson. So, at the end of today's lesson, I will convert this recording into a YouTube video, and I'll put it here, so if anybody misses anything, right, you can come back and you can watch it again. English Central. I'll open up the file and show it to you, okay? So let's do that now because it's also part of the textbook assignment. Okay, so I already opened it. Yep, that's this week's. This week you had to do, or last week rather, you had to do the Okay, it's got a very cool name, this phoneme. It's called the schwa, and it has a special name because, like last week, I explained, it's used in almost every word that you say. Okay, the schwa is the most commonly voiced sound in the English language. Okay, so you're using it all the time, even if you don't know it. So it's a very important one. Okay, and these are your results. As always, look for your name. Okay, you can download this file, look for your name. Remember, your results are made up of 3 things. Okay, how many lines you speak. The target is 100 per week. That's worth 50% of your grade. Okay, if you got over 100, you got full 50%. How many words you learned by doing the quizzes. Okay, you have to learn 25, so as long as it's more than 25, you get 25%. And completing a course, and as I just mentioned, this last week's course was the sound, the schwa. And that's worth 25%, okay, of the total English Central grade. And the English Central grade is 80% of your total quarter grade. Just a quick warning, you guys are doing too well, okay? Nearly everybody is getting 80% every single week. So I may need to do a little bit of adjustment with that. Otherwise, we're going to have a class full of S's, 90% plus, and the university might get a little bit upset with me if I do that. But if I do adjust it, it won't be far. Okay, we may end up with a class of nearly all 80s plus a few 90s. Yeah, basically everybody's doing a really good job. This is fantastic, okay? What you're doing is excellent. Those people who aren't doing it, you really stand out for not doing it, okay? So if you're having trouble with English Central, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just assume that you are a little bit lazy. Now, next semester, we will continue on with English Central. This week is the last assigned material for English Central for quarter one, okay? You will do your 6th weekly English Central assignment, and that'll be the end of your quarter one submission for English Central. Next week, I will still give you an assignment for English Central, but that will count towards quarter two, all right? So moving on, what else do you need to do for week 6? All right, these were the answers from last week. Okay, I've put the answers in here or here. I'm not going to go over them too much. Yeah, that was the listening activity, okay? Hopefully you were all able to do that. And this was the answer key from the listening activity as well. Now, just quickly on that, I will be starting grading from today, okay? I expect to have all the grading finished by this time next week. So you'll start to get your results from the assignments that you've done from today. Okay, if you see any problems with the assignments, okay, going right back to week 1, let me know. All right, so last week you were asked to create a cultural flexibility meter. Actually, that was 2 weeks ago. Last week you were asked to upload it onto Flipgrid, share it with your classmates, and then you were also asked to please go and do the flexibility meter of some of your classmates. Now the idea is that then you can go back and you can, I'm going to get this out of the way. Whoop. You can go back and then you can do a report on what people have said about your flexibility meter or in answer to your flexibility meter. So this is where you had to do it in Flipgrid, and it looks like everybody has done it, or everybody whose name is here has done it. Okay, haven't actually gone through and checked yet to see who has not done it. But if you have not done this, we've got 35 responses. That means that at least 5 people have not done this. Okay, if you have not done this, you need to do this. It actually means you haven't been able to do the report for this either, because nobody will have replied to your flexibility meter. Okay, so the more replies you have, the better, because the more replies you have, then the more information you have for your report. Okay, and this week you will talk about your report. Now, what I suggest you do, we're already up to Friday. The report is due on Wednesday. If everybody could please go have a look at the other flexibility meters and add a comment, especially those people who have not yet posted, okay? So 5 people who have not posted, make sure you do your flexibility meters, and so that other people can watch them and leave a comment on them. Otherwise, you will have nothing to write about in your report. And I want to explain what I mean by your report, so we'll get out of here and we'll have a look at it. Okay, this is where you put the results of your report. Now you have to do the results in the Word document as well, but you're going to discuss that information here with each other. Okay, so you were asked to make a report. You should have answered these 5 questions. How many people posted in reply to your flexibility meter? This might have changed. Okay, who was the most flexible person? That means which person was most adventurous? Okay, which person was willing to do the strangest thing? Based on your flexibility meter, who was the least flexible person? Okay, now this assumes you have at least 2 people who have replied. Which flexibility meter that you responded to did you think was the most interesting? Okay, or the most fun? And last question, do you think that you personally are culturally flexible? Okay, so what you need to do, copy the answers, questions and the answers from your homework report and post them here. Okay, post them as a reply. So you just basically go in here, copy your Word document and paste into here. Okay, and then you've answered the questions. Or if you want to, you could just copy these. Okay, another way to do it. And just paste. If you do this though, you will have to then type in your answers. Okay. All right. Now let's. So the idea is all of you will be commenting in the forum on your reports about who is the most culturally flexible, etc. Okay, and whose flexibility meter was the most interesting. So next week we can award a winner. All right. What else did you need to do? Okay, let's go back to the assignment. Now, this is the Culture Shock Forum discussion from the textbook. Okay, it was the speak out activity. Last week you had to say what advice you would give to someone who has moved to your neighborhood. All right, there were 4 questions. Okay, so in terms of language, what words are useful to know here in Japan? What foods are good to try in your local area, or you can even go Kansai or Japan. Where's a good place to meet people? That's a hard question to ask at the moment because everybody is stuck inside, although starting to move around again. And maybe greetings and customs. What greetings and customs do you think are useful for a new person to Japan to know? One example might be, make sure you take your shoes off when you enter somebody's house. Okay, that kind of thing. Now this week is the last activity from the textbook for this quarter. Okay, you'll do activity 2, unit 3, find out more, page 13. Read this article and then answer these questions. Okay, so there are 5 questions to answer. This is an article about this lady's experience of culture shock. Her name is Janet Bennett, and she experienced culture shock 50 years ago when she worked in the Peace Corps, and she was working on Pacific Islands. Okay, so not many white people, not many foreign people at all on these islands, and so she had quite intense culture shock, as did her other Peace Corps members. And so this is explaining her experience. Finally, speak out. Okay. Now this is preparation for next week. Okay, next week there will be another forum for you to answer. To prepare for that, please write your answers here. Okay, just ignore the 5 to 6. Okay, it's 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now imagine you had a chance to visit a foreign country for 1 year. Okay, whether it was study abroad or just a holiday, whatever. You get a chance to go to another country and live there for 1 year. Where would you go? Okay, which country would you choose? If you could choose any country in the world, what would you need to do to prepare before you went? Okay, so before going, how would you prepare for travel and living in that country for 1 year? For example, If it's not a country where they speak Japanese, you might want to learn the local language. What will you do when you are there? So when you are in the country, what kind of activities would you like to do? Where would you like to go? What would you like to do? For example, what would you like to eat? Okay, would you like to learn any new skills that are specific to that country? So think about, you're going to have to do some research about the country to answer that question properly. And finally, do you think you would have culture shock if you lived in that country for 1 year? Okay, now the thing about culture shock, I explained last week, I think, is that the bigger the difference between your country and the country you are traveling to, then the more intense the culture shock, the bigger the effect of culture shock. But on the other hand, the more flexible you are as a person, then the less the culture shock. So you need to balance two things. How different is that country going to be from Japan? And how flexible do you think you are as a person? Okay? And you could even refer to your flexibility meter in that answer. Okay, so answer those 4 questions carefully, because next week you will talk about these in the forum. All right. As far as English Central goes, next week, like I said, it's the last one for the quarter. Speak 100 lines, learn 25 words. And this week you will be doing the sh sound. Okay, this symbol is the symbol for the phoneme, the sound sh. So you'll be learning how to do that one. Okay, that's actually not shown here, which is why I'm explaining it more clearly. Okay, that'll be your week 6 course. Now, what I want to show you, some people are not doing the courses. I just want to show you what the courses actually are. Okay, so everybody did really, really well with the lines and the quizzes, but the course, okay, is done a different way. We'll just have a look at the as an example. Sorry, this takes a bit of time. There we go. This, by the way, is wrong. Okay, that overall page is not correct. Don't worry about that. This is the correct. And you can see nearly everybody does know this. Okay, I apologize. Nearly everybody does know this, but there are a few people who aren't doing it. Okay, and so for those people, basically 3 of you, you need to make sure that you are doing the courses as well. And this is what the courses looks like. Okay, these are the courses. Okay, this is the one you have to do this week. So you simply click on it, and there are 5 things you have to do to complete the course. All right, these 5 things. First, you watch and listen to how the sound is made. Someone talks about how to make the sound. Then you can see how the sound is actually formed using your lips and using your throat. Then you practice the sound at the beginning of words, in the middle of words, and at the end of words. And if you do all of these, it's 100%. Okay, it's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100%. Okay, so that's what you need to do before next week. Now, the final thing we need to talk about today. Oh, remember, as always, please save the Word document, submit it through Schoology. All right. Have a look at your homework. Okay, always check this as the last thing that you do to make sure you've done everything. All right. So for homework, check your English Central scores, make sure that they are what you think they are. Do the cultural flexibility meter report in the forum. Then do the giving advice discussion in the forum. Finish the assignment for this week. And in the assignment, as part of that, do the imagine you have a chance to visit a foreign country for 1 year activity. English Central, same as always, do the sh pronunciation course. That's all due by 9 o'clock Wednesday next week. Finally, okay, as I said, the university has asked students to do an evaluation, okay, of all their courses. So I imagine you'll be getting this from all of your professors. Quick demonstration of what you need to do. Just have a look here. I've put the link to the UruboNet survey here, or at least to log in so you can get to the survey. And there's a QR code here if you want to use your smartphone. But this is what you need to do. Okay, they've given me it in English, which is great. So I'll just quickly have a look at it in English for you. All right. So, please answer the course reflection survey on UruboNet. Okay. The purpose of the survey is really about your feedback helping improve the courses. All right. If there's something that you think is not right with the course, you can put that information as part of the feedback. I think it's anonymous. In fact, I'm sure it's anonymous. Okay. Yep. That's what they're saying here. Anonymous means that I will not know who makes what comments. Okay. I just get the comments about the class. Okay. The idea is to improve teaching. It's also for you to think about your own learning, okay? What do you think was good and what could have been better as far as your own learning goes? Okay, the deadline started yesterday, finishes in about a month. So you've got about 2 more weeks to do it. Do it today and get it over and done with, unless you want to wait until the end of the quarter. Oops, sorry, let's go back. This is the link I put on the Schoology instructions page. Okay, just click on the link, it'll take you straight to UruboNet. If you want to use the QR code, it's there as well for your smartphone. Once you get there on a PC, you need to log in using your information here. All right, then go to questionnaire and then click on answer screen, and then you'll get the survey. Just go through and answer the survey. If you're using your smartphone, you'll get this screen. Click on PC page, then click on questionnaire, then click on answer screen. Same thing. Okay, and that's it. All right. Have they given me the Japanese version? Yes. Okay, the Japanese version is a lot more boring. There you go. So if you need to know how to do it, again, there are the instructions in Japanese. All right, so I'll get out of that. Okay, like I said, there's the link, there's the QR code. That's it for today's lesson. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing the screen now. I'm going to try and stop sharing the screen now. There we go. All right, so if you have any questions, you can ask them now. You can send me a message on Schoology, okay, or type it into the chat bar, or put it in the forum, okay, if it's a general message. Okay, otherwise I'll leave you there. Okay, we're almost at the end of the quarter. That has gone really fast. Just a quick update. Almost 100% certain that next quarter will be online. Okay, I'm not even. They may have even announced that today. I'm not sure. So we will continue with online classes. Okay, English Central. We'll continue with that, and the lessons will basically continue the same way. We will keep using material from the Identity textbook. It'll be sent to you as a Word document, and you'll be using Schoology. All right. So nothing's going to change. So you guys seem to be doing a fantastic job. I'm really happy. There's a few of you who might just want to do a little bit more. I think I'll know at the end of next week who might be in trouble, but I would say 90% of you are going to get very, very good grades this semester, or this quarter. Okay, I'll leave it there. Have a good week. Stay dry. It looks like it's going to be a very wet week. And I'll talk to you all next week. I'll stop the recording now.